What's really good, my people? Welcome into No Ketchup, Sports Talk via Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Little. Big Nick the Quick in the building. Nick Harvey in here like usual.
What's going on?
What's happening?
Man, Monday.
So pull your mic down off your face so the pretty people can see you, bro. There you go.
Pretty people. I'm the pretty one over here.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
Chilling, man. What's going on with you?
Not too much, man. You know, just getting the week started, man, you know?
Yeah, it's good to be back in here. I know we've been going every other week.
Yeah, I was out of town last week, man. You know, it was my turn to take a little trip, so, you know.
No doubt. And as we close out this summer, we'll be back full go for football season.
Talk about closing out the summer, not even trying to think about that.
Yeah, it's coming soon, but you know, it's coming, but whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff comes with that too.
Absolutely.
We're going to talk the Rich Paul rule, NCAA. A lot of interesting talking points.
The Rich Paul rule. Reading
between the lines, a lot of sub stuff we could talk about. We're going to break down there. AB, his helmet, his feet, he lost his arbitrary case today. We're going to talk about that whole situation. And I want to talk about AB and his legacy and kind of how all this stuff affects AB as a player and how he'll be remembered. We'll talk about that. NFL preseason, Bears, kicking situation. We'll talk all that stuff, and we'll close it out with a couple thoughts on the NBA, Melo. I don't want to talk about the Cubs' road woes, so we're not going to talk about that.
I haven't been paying attention. I was out of town. Did they have another bad stretch last week?
No, they just been. I mean, they're splitting right now, so that's a win.
$220 million worth of splitting over there.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Man, not too much, man.
Dude, last I talked to you, you was out in Cali?
Yeah. I did a couple days out in Southern California. You know.
Yo, and by the way, Nick just walked in here and said,
ready to move.
Yo,
Nick ready just to change the environment.
Nick just walked in here and said, it's a wrap for
I think I'm done.
The real Southern California move is a real thing.
It's real.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I need that lifestyle, man. I'm gonna come out there and kick it with my boy Will.
Shout out Willie Runs. Speaking of Willie Runs, that week in between the last time we were on, it was Lollapalooza.
Oh, yeah, you went to Lolla?
Went to Lolla all 4 days again. I'm getting too old, but at the same time, I was just about
to ask.
I'm not. I didn't feel that old, bro.
Well, let me ask you this.
I feel old when I'm in there listening to music and drinking beers and chilling out.
So here's so like when people bring up Lolla, I've only done it one time, but here's what I say. Like, it was a great time for me. It's a ton of young people. I feel old even saying that. But what I will say is since Will hooked it up, and remember, like the first year we went, he had that little backstage area that we could pretty much retreat to whenever we wanted to, the little free bar.
Yeah.
That made it that much better. I don't think I could do GA Lolla.
You couldn't, nah.
I couldn't, especially because my only experience is non-GA.
Yeah.
I think I'm too old. Like we were just talking about, too many people. Like I don't fuck with all that. Like I couldn't do the GA, waiting around for shit, sitting on the lawn. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of like 18-year-olds on ecstasy falling all over me.
Yeah,
like having a little back bar dip off option. That's all I need.
It's major.
In any environment, if you can give me the dip off, secluded, roped off area, that might sound bougie when I talk like that. I'm good. And I'm fine, man. I'm 32 years old. I don't need to be in there with the youngins, man. You know, so it was cool for me. I felt the same way like when I was there listening to music, like it was cool. But again, we both had that luxury of not being GA. I'd imagine you haven't been GA since
I haven't been GA in a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
So like imagine at 31 years old going in there GA, you'd be like, man.
Yeah, it might be a little different.
It might be a little different move for you.
Like you said, you can slide off, go grab a brew,
anything.
Stretch your arms out. You could literally go sit down, eat.
Sit down. We could sit down, stretch out. We had the whole...
The biggest underplayed thing is you could go to the bathroom in peace.
You can go to the bathroom.
You don't got to worry about none of that.
Yeah.
It's different.
So when you start adding all that shit up over 4 days of fucking waiting for porta potties, you probably be like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good off this.
No, I'm staying home and watching.
I don't need to grind. And shout out Mr. Newberger. You can watch. You can watch it. You can watch it on YouTube, like crystal clear as day.
Yeah.
And in the comfort of your own home.
That's how I feel like, and I don't know, man, with concerts in general, bro.
You just getting ready to be like, that's how you get down anyway.
With concerts in general, it's the same thing, bro. Like the last time I waited for a concert, like, nah, if I can't get in, you know what I mean? Like if I can't get in, I think shout out Colin, he got us into like the front of the last concert I went to. Like I'm not doing it, bro. I'm not waiting in line. I'm not being there with the hordes of people. I'm not doing. It's not me anymore. It never was me.
That's part of the experience.
Only place I do that is a sporting event.
For like, depending on the show.
For who?
Like there's shows that like I'd rather be in the crowd catching the vibe. Well, regardless of how young they are or whatever, than being off backstage and just kind of checking out the show, being cool.
Oh no, I want to be in the crowd. I'm talking about getting in the show. The line outside the show. You know what I'm talking about? The line that I don't want to deal with that.
What did we caught that Majid Jordan together at Lala. It was fire.
Easy.
In the vibe.
Walked right in.
It was crazy.
I'm still the biggest concert regret ever is we didn't get to see Lil Uzi tear that shit. Lil Uzi was about to go stupid at Lala that year.
Scene was like epic.
Yeah, it was like surreal.
It was raining like it rains in the movies.
Yeah.
And Uzi
nighttime.
Yeah,
we've been getting in. We've seen the Migos that day. We've seen Majid. We've seen KETCHUP that day. Whole shit was crazy. But yeah, just in general, man, like outside of sporting events, like I'm also big, bro. So moving through crowds is fucking difficult for me, man. Like it's a whole situation. It is what it is. I'm happy.
I feel that. All right, let's talk about this Rich Paul NCAA situation.
Mm-hmm.
You should have heard about this already.
Yeah.
This has been a talking point for the last 7 days or so. Let me give you a little background. Essentially, the NCAA came out and said, if you want to rep these test the water, quote unquote, athletes, as an agent, you need to have a...
You should probably even go back before that.
Right.
A couple years ago, the NCAA allowed you to test the waters at the draft and not lose your eligibility.
You can hire an agent, go test out the waters, see what your draft stock was looking like, see if front office people were rocking with you, seeing if you were going to be in the late first round, second round, or not be drafted at all.
Right.
And if you felt like you felt like you weren't in a comfortable draft spot for yourself, you could be like, you know what, I'm actually going to head back to...
There's a period in which you can make a decision.
ACC.
Whereas prior to that, if you declared you didn't get drafted,
a wrap.
You're done.
You declared you had to go no matter what, right?
So, yeah.
So they gave the players another option. Now, when they first dropped this rule, you could be repped by anybody you picked, essentially. Any agent that's... So, even a step further back, if you were NBA certified agent, then you automatically fell in line with the NCAA certification. Yeah. Right?
Yep.
So with the new rule, everything was going cool, whatever. And then I guess it kind of came out of nowhere. But it's based off of the college basketball committee.
Yeah.
Or the professional, I don't even know what it's called.
Which you already know is.
Yeah.
It has to deal with college sports. You already know it's shady.
Let me see. I have it written down here somewhere.
Yeah.
It's the college basketball commission.
Yeah.
With Condoleezza Rice on it. Essentially a bunch of people they got together and put together after the FBI came down.
That's what Condi's doing now?
Yeah, to clean up the NCAA but not really do anything. Just not lock up a bunch of people that don't know shit about college basketball. Just put a bunch of smart people in a room and tell them, you guys should figure out how college basketball
window dressing pretty much. 100%. It's like, we got all these people in there. We're trying to clean it up, but nothing's getting cleaned.
Right. So... in this new rule, this quote-unquote Rich Paul rule that came out, like 10 days ago?
I think it was even shorter than that.
Yeah, whatever. A week ago.
Pretty quick, yeah.
A week ago, they said now if you want to be an agent that represents these test the water kids, you have to have at least a bachelor's degree.
Ludicrous.
Immediately, it was called out, dubbed the Rich Paul rule, and LeBron was on it. Everyone was on
pretty much universally. I didn't hear anybody who was really. I heard some players be like, I understand what they're trying to do. Like, we don't want just anybody to take advantage of kids, but nobody was really like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, universally, like, hold on. And it all pointed to Rich Paul.
100%.
Yeah.
They didn't directly say it was correlated to Rich Paul, but that's how it was spun. And forget about Rich Paul, whatever, right? The biggest thing for me was, even though they didn't directly associate it with Rich Paul, that wasn't a rule before.
No.
Rich Paul's thriving.
It's a threat.
He doesn't have
Not even a threat. He's there already.
He doesn't have a college degree.
Who cares?
And he's doing his thing, right?
Yeah.
So why would you all of a sudden come up with a rule that essentially was unnecessary? I didn't really understand it. It was a pointless rule.
So I think what they're trying to do, what their explanation was, they're trying to, get rid of all these shady people who are going to take advantage of the kids and like the uncle situations and things like that. Which again, if you want to get rep by your uncle, I mean that's your decision. Number one. So I get like getting rid of the non-certified people and things like that. But the college degree thing, that's Rich Paul said it 100% cuts off people who may have not had access to college or didn't finish for whatever reason. There's plenty of people who just didn't finish college. I'm one of them. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, didn't finish. That doesn't make you any less smarter or any less intelligent or any less capable to do that job, right? I imagine if you go through these certification courses, you learn the rules and regulations of being an NBA agent. You learn some of the financials of it, right? If you're a smart player, you're going to hire somebody who knows that type of stuff, right? Hopefully. So all you really are trying to do is cut out Rich Paul, who is a threat to them. And we knew this was coming. We knew that eventually they were going to try to legislate out the next Rich Paul, right? They can't stop the Rich Paul wave that's already here, but you don't want the next Rich Paul.
That's exactly why I had a big problem with
it.
That's essentially all they're trying to do.
100%.
Okay, man. Like we don't want just anybody to be able to come in here and start.
We have a system
in the league like this.
We have a system set up, man. It's the agents. The agent thing is also just like we talk about NFL ownership being a good old boys club. NBA agents, NFL agents, that's a good old boys club. You're talking about sports that are 95% black. And there's how many prominent black agents? You know what I mean? Like that's a good old boys club. You got your Lee Steinbergs and your people like that have been around forever, and they control the whole thing. Rich Paul comes in here and says, number one, I'm going to take all your clients, and then I'm going to empower your clients, right? I'm going to get them paid. I'm going to get them where they want to play. I'm going to make them happy. And then other people are seeing this and saying, you know what? Maybe we should hire an agent that looks like us, that sounds like us, that understands what we're looking for. And that's a threat. And they want to cut that off right away because if Rich Paul types can get to them in college, there's no chance for the other ones to come in.
So that the biggest,
because who are they going to talk to in college? The Rich Paul. Oh, okay. What's up, man? Yeah, okay. That's who they're around, right? These other dudes don't get a hold on them till afterwards, until they're in that process. So they're trying to kill all that, man. You knew this was happening. NBA have a rule next.
And just so we're clear, this was only for kids that were testing the waters.
Yeah.
So Rich Paul doesn't necessarily deal with guys that are testing the water. He's dealing with sure things. Ben Simmons, those type of guys.
Rich Paul directly.
But
Clutch has other agents.
Right. Yeah. And that was the big thing for me. It's like, it's called the Rich Paul rule, but it doesn't directly affect Rich Paul, but it affects the next Rich Paul.
Yeah.
That was the big thing for me.
Exactly.
That was why it was a major deal. It was like, yo, what are y'all really trying to do here?
Right.
So a week goes by. Rich Paul drops this manifesto. What is it called?
Manifesto.
I just love saying manifesto. Op-ed.
Yeah.
A piece.
About
essentially his thoughts on this new NCAA rule,
yep,
dubbed the Rich Paul rule. And hours after that, the NCAA essentially changes it and scraps
the college degree
portion of it. And I quote, this is what they came out and said. We are committed to providing student athletes who are deciding whether to stay in school or explore NBA draft options with access to a wide array of resources to make their decision. The NCAA said in the statement, NCAA member schools developed the new agent certification process to accomplish that goal and reflect our higher education mission. That higher education mission talk. Let me finish. Hold on. However, we have been aware of several current agents who have appropriately represented former student athletes in their professional quest and whom the National Basketball Association has granted waivers of its bachelor's degree program. Requirement. While specific individuals who were not considered when developing our process, we respect the MBPA's determination of qualification and have amended our certification criteria.
Listen.
End quote.
Listen. Every time you hear a statement come out from the NCAA, just understand you're going to get is just full of shit. Everything they say is full of shit. Nobody was complaining about this. This wasn't the NCAA issue that people are talking about, among the many issues that the people are talking about with the NCAA. But yet you choose to address this one and make a big deal out of it. But you're such cowards, you won't address the real issue. Again, I'm sick. I hate the NCAA. Makes me hate college sports, like to the point where sometimes, like I feel like guilty. You know, some people are like, I don't watch the NFL. It makes me feel guilty.
Yeah.
Like I feel guilty sometimes watching college sports. I'm like, this is such like bullshit. And then they put out a statement like that the higher education. Stop playing, man. You get a degree in football, you get a degree in basketball. If you want to pursue something else, they'll allow you to, but not really, because they don't want you taking more classes that are going to get in the way of what your ultimate mission is.
No, you can't take more classes.
You can't take more classes. You be the smartest dude in the world. Be like, hey, man, who's the dude from Florida State, Myron Roll? Yeah. There's like an issue. He wants to get his PhD.
Yeah.
My man's trying to get his PhD.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Rhodes Scholar.
Yeah, Rhodes Scholar. Like, fuck y'all. But so I don't want to hear any of that from them, man. They want to keep their power, man. They understand that old institutions right now are starting to crumble. Right? Like, people are getting some power in certain ways. People can mobilize. We got the internet. We got social media. Look how fast they retracted this rule. So they're trying to hold on to whatever else they can. And they're nervous that they're losing that power structure. It don't got nothing to do with higher education or giving a Don't pretend to give a shit about the kids right now. Please. Just don't pretend to give a shit about the kids right now. You've never given a shit about the kids.
Yeah, that's facts. And I agree with you 100%.
Never. The kids are hungry.
The NCAA is all about optics. Whatever they think is like a look good, even when it doesn't look good, and they're just so tone deaf, they don't even know.
Yeah,
they just want things. They just do things for it to look good for everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're being investigated by the FBI. We'll create a commission with Condoleezza Rice and others super high profile smart figures, and then we'll have them make college basketball decisions. But they don't know anything about college basketball. But that'll look good, right? So let's do that.
And it's weird because every time we mention it, we say Condoleezza Rice. Oh, that's a buzz name. Oh, they got Condoleezza Rice on it.
Right.
She's a fucking former Secretary of State. What does she know about college basketball?
100%. Like, we want to make it seem like we have interest in the players being guarded and having good agents represent them. So we'll pass something that makes the agent he has to have a college degree, because that sounds right? Like, why would you want a guy without a college degree to represent? Like, we'll do that. Yeah. It's like they're just all about optics. They don't care about the player. They care about the bottom line and everything else.
Player. Shabazz Napier said it, man. He said after a Big East tournament game, he went home that night and didn't have money to eat food. Didn't have money for dinner after tournament games. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Worry about the kids eating.
Another thing that was added on when they did the test the market, and this is classic NCAA. So, if you want to be an agent, this is before even the bachelor's degree minimum thing or requirement came in. If you wanted to be an agent that represented the Test the Waters kids, you had to get a $1,500 certification through the NCAA to do that, on top of your certification from the NBA.
Because they need money.
The money goes, who knows where it goes.
Not to the players.
And one of my...
you know where that money goes? It goes to pay for Condoleezza Rice to be on the board.
Right. One of the agent friends that I was talking to about this says you can represent them, but essentially the biggest part of the thing you're doing is setting up workouts for them, getting them in contact with people, setting up workouts.
Yeah.
You can't pay for anything still. You can't get them a flight out.
You're pretty much an advisor.
You're essentially just a middleman trying to help.
Unpaid advisor.
Exactly. Yeah. Trying to help them out. And that's $1,500 a year just to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Which I'm not going to start crying for the agents because they make their money. That's a worthy investment.
But it's still.
If he signs one contract, you get that money back tenfold.
Yeah, but it still kills the smaller agencies that are trying to, because then you have to pay you have to pay the NBA certification fee. You have to pay the NCAA fee. You got to pay. I think you have to pay fees for recruiting players in certain states. There's a lot of you already know, right?
Yeah.
But either way, it's just another thing. Like the NCAA has their hand out. Like,
we need
give
this,
us $1,500. Oh, but don't worry. Like, you know what it is? It's like, okay, we'll let these guys test the waters, but you got to give us $1,500.
$1,500, yeah.
Like, here's a good shiny, like, yo, yeah, let them come through. It's all good. Like, go ahead. You can come back if you want. But, yo.
You just gave us 2 free years of service. Yeah, we're going to need that 15.
We're going to need that 15.
Yeah, we're going to need that.
From the agency that's trying to rep.
I need that for sure.
So it's all about optics. It's all a bunch of bullshit, and it doesn't change.
Nothing. No, I'm a NCAA for you, man. Biggest group of
What do
hypocrites
you think
of all
about?
time.
What do you think about them flipping it in a week though? And then LeBron tweeted, "Stay woke,"
because they get that pressure. They got that pressure. They crumbled on that pressure.
Well, I mean, yeah,
because at the end of the day, they probably evaluated and were like, "Look, it's not." First off, the public, there was not a huge faction of people saying, "Oh, we love this rule." So it's like there's nobody. Everybody hated it. It was universally panned. We have nothing to lose by just turning back around on it at this point in time. I mean, they just got killed for it. They got to make it seem like, oh, we're giving something back. Yeah. You just said optics.
Yeah, it's like we got to
optics. It doesn't matter. Here's what matters, right? Their feelings on the issue have been made known. Rules or no rules, their feelings on the issue have been made known, and that will influence how they do business going forward. That I will tell you. So it doesn't matter if they remove the actual written rule, right, that prohibits that. Their feelings on the issue have been made known, right? They're in charge, and that is how business is going to be done. So if they don't want these type of agents coming around, they will find a way to not have them come around. Period, point blank. Now you know where they stand. That's all that really matters. You know where they stand. They don't want these people around. They just told you they don't want these people around. So rule or no rule, they will find a way to make it more difficult for these people to be around.
Bingo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they might amend it here and there when on a slow day on the news cycle. Oh, they added a new thing on there. Where they fucked up is they went full whammy with it all at once, and it's like, oh yeah, there's like 6 different new things. If you amend that shit here and there, yeah, no one would have noticed.
Yeah. I wonder. I don't even want to talk about them anymore. But I just thought, salute Rich Paul and those boys.
Yeah.
Dude, I think it's great that he's dropping articles. He's just in the mix everywhere.
100%. Remember, he's at lunches that he's not invited to. Remember. Rich Paul just has to be at lunch.
He is at lunches he's not invited to. He's everywhere.
Rich Paul.
Rich Paul's everywhere, bro.
Is that Rich? Yeah, it's Rich. It's funny because you look at him, he's like the most unassuming dude in the world, too. He's just like a little,
man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What that dude, he moves mountains. Like, you think that Mav Carter would be the one who's like the real, like, because, you know, Mav's very, like, outward, and you hear him talk all the time. You see Mav Carter, like, Rich Paul, he plays the background and just makes it happen. He's like Jay Prince.
But he got that LeBron. He got that LeBron behind him.
Yeah,
he knows he could puff his chest out
anytime he wants to. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to say. I don't even know if I even know what he sounds like.
And that's actually a good point. I've heard him talk a couple times.
I know exactly what Mav Carter. Like, if Mav Carter was outside talking, I'd be like, oh, that's Mav Carter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, very distinct voice. Like, he's on the shop. Rich Paul's not on the shop talking.
I saw Rich Paul walking down the street on Michigan Avenue. Remember I told you that?
Yeah.
And he's just a little dude.
He's a little dude.
A little unassuming dude. Like, he could be anybody. He could be a drummer boy.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. When you look at him, like, that's Rich Paul. That's LeBron's guy.
Rich Paul, Chicago bucket boy.
Shout out Rich Paul, man. Yeah.
All right, let's rotate off the NCAA just because why? But shout out Rich Paul, LeBron. Stay woke. Let's rotate to AB.
Always booming.
AB, Antonio Brown. You want to talk about the helmet or the feet first?
It doesn't matter.
What are your thoughts right now on AB?
Same.
He's a wild boy.
This is not new.
He's a wild.
Listen, man.
AB's so wild, Joe.
I
don't even get it.
The Steelers threw him an exit party. Control. They wanted no part of that anymore. They were good. They were fine. We know why. We knew that this was the deal with AB. And the thing with AB, like, great player. We don't need to talk about him on the field, right? But you knew he was a problem. You knew he was a headache.
No, I do kind of want to talk about him on the field in a little bit because I feel like, go ahead.
You knew what he was bringing to the table and what you were signing up for him. He wasn't going to come into the Raiders situation humble. He wasn't humbled by his Pittsburgh situation. It's not like he got cut or anything like that. I mean, they couldn't get right to get rid of him. He was gone. He comes over here. It's about him. Especially walks into this situation, and there is no Ben Roethlisberger. It's not the Steelers organization. You know what I mean? He's walking in there. He's like, the only other bigger personality here is John Gruden, and fuck him because he's going to be eating out of my hand. Gruden's got to win games this year, right? AB's going to take him there. So yeah, I mean, AB to me, I think he's a clown, but I'm okay with it. But he's a clown.
Wow.
I've always thought he was a clown. When I saw that interview with him this summer at his crib and he was just talking nonsense. Like, when he starts talking, he's a clown. Like, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and it's fine. I'm not bashing him. I'm not here to bash AB. I'm not anti-AB, but I do think he's a clown. When I saw him with the fucking gold fucking beard and mustache this summer, I thought he was a clown.
Listen.
He's a clown.
Listen. I don't use the word clown for those type of guys because when he walks on the field, it's all business.
He's a man.
So I can't say,
Yeah.
I don't call those guys clowns. What's an example of a guy that's a clown because he acts like that and then he goes on the field and he's trash too?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know anybody
There's
off the top of
plenty
my
of them.
head.
Yeah.
But like I can't call him a clown because I love because he does all this bullshit and then he goes out and gets
produces.
you 125 catches,
Yep.
1,400 yards and 9 touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
So like, I can't call him a clown, but I'll just resort to a wild boy. Like the way he goes about things is really bad.
Like, very bad.
He's one of those dudes where as soon as this production tips, he'll be out of the league.
Out of the league.
And no one will you'll never hear from him again.
Touch him. Randy Moss.
No, you'll never hear from him again.
Never.
Ever. Like that's the type of dude he is.
Yeah.
Like Jim Harbaugh when he's on the 49ers, all that bullshit, not talking to the owner, this and that, and fuck everybody, we're winning. 9 games, you gone.
You're gone. Never.
That's it.
Never come
Never
back
to be
the
heard
league.
from again.
Never.
So like that's why it's tough on dudes like this. He goes to Paris or France or wherever he was. If you're getting frostbite on your feet at a cryo spot, the cryo spot doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, I don't know how they're letting you go in there
So-
without the socks or the shoes
or the
whatever.
wrong shoes.
Unless he might
or
have had it at
whatever.
the crib though.
Whatever,
Was it his
bro.
own chamber?
It needs to be. I don't think it was his own chamber. I think he went to a facility.
Okay.
But it needs to be like this is the shit that like, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone told him like, "Yo, you need to wear these shoes." He was like, "Nah, I'm good."
Always booming.
Yeah, like and walked in anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, nah, I don't want to wear those. I'm gonna go in
That's
anyway.
why I say clown, bro.
So like, the thing about the feet, and then he posts a picture of his feet like super close to the camera, and he's like smiling and laughing in the background. It's like, I get it, AB. Like, you're the man and you do this, but the way you go about this shit is just all wrong, bro. It's all wrong.
You know, he reminds me of T.O.
Yeah.
Wide receivers are. It's just wide
They're
out.
very similar.
They're
AB
very
and
because
T.O.
I don't
are
want to
very
compare him to
similar.
Moss. I think Moss's deal was a little bit different story.
Yeah.
But like T.O. doing the workout on his front lawn with the media camera, it's like, bro, and then look what happened to T.O. As soon as he couldn't play, he's broke out the league, trying to do reality TV shows, like all types of shit. It's just like, yeah, no. Whereas Moss got a job, he's over there on TV, a little different situation. Yeah, man, I just, he's one of those people that like certain people, I'm like, whatever, people are making a big deal out of it and he's just kind of expressing himself.
Yeah.
His shit becomes like cringeworthy. Like the hot air balloon, watching that in Hard Knocks, I was uncomfortable during that scene. I'm like, this dude like, it's like almost like he's a me person, but he also wants you to know that he's a me person, and it's very much like a show and a production, right? Whereas some people are just more like genuine me persons. You see what I'm saying? Kind of like, whereas like he's not really trying to be that way. That's just how they are. Whereas like him, it's like he tries too hard almost sometimes. Where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna take this hot air balloon in Hard Knocks. That's how I'm gonna arrive at training camp. And it's like, bro, like nobody like that shit is kind of like goofy to me. You know what I mean? Like you're too good to be that goofy.
Right.
That's how I kind of feel with him. Like, you're so good. You're too good to be that goofy and that much attention, and, like, just the shit that he says sometimes, it just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah. And we're going to, because I agree with you. We'll touch back on that. So then the helmet thing comes up. No lie. That came through one of my homies' group chats.
Yeah.
And they were like, it said, he, like, screenshotted a notification, and it said, AB to retire if he can't wear his helmet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, y'all need to stop getting notifications from the Onion or wherever the fuck
you thought it wasn't real.
This notification from. Like, AB is wild. Like, he's not this wild, right? And then I hop on Twitter and Schefter's talking about it. I'm like, yo, he's serious.
Yeah.
Now,
Schefter's the voice of truth.
This is where it's like, okay, don't bring this type of drama to camp. Last year, they said, yo, this is the last year you can wear these helmets.
Right.
Because he had one, Brady had one, Rodgers had one.
Yeah.
And they were like, yo, you can't wear these after this year. Like, y'all got this year.
It's an old model, yeah.
Next year, y'all will need a new helmet. Him going to have a hearing and try to wear the helmet 3 weeks out of game one is outrageous. Like, handle that shit in the at the end of the season.
You know,
whatever you have to do. They were saying earlier in the year in OTAs, he came in with the helmet and they were like, "Yo, you can't wear this."
Did you hear what he did? They said he painted a Steelers helmet with the Oakland Raiders colors, and it was
like,
but they noticed it like that doesn't look right.
You can't wear this.
You cannot wear this. Yeah.
So here are some options that you can wear. Then he wore one. He didn't like it, and then he came back next time and he put his other one back on. It's like, yeah, whatever. Like, he just did his own thing, right?
Yeah.
It's too much. Period. Like, do that shit beforehand.
For you to say it's too much, because you're like 99.9% pro player, like no matter what it is. For you to say it's too much, because I was interested to see where you would be on this. I thought it was either going to be you're saying it's too much, or you'd be like, no, he can do whatever he wants. It's too much, bro.
It's too much, bro.
The foot thing was one thing, but then the helmet thing, when I read that's when I'm like, yeah, it's too much me. In football, you cannot do that.
Because the feet thing is, it's like, hey, I made a mistake. Yeah. I didn't wear the right shoes, or I wasn't instructed to wear the right shoes.
Right.
I'm working on getting back, and I'll be back. He's making a joke about it. Like, that's not really shit you joke about. Like,
yeah, you're not in
hey,
camp.
I'm on my cell phone in the meeting.
Yeah.
I had 135 catches last year.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to hear none of that shit, right? Like, that's fine. I don't care about that stuff.
What, the cell phone in the meeting?
Yeah, like, AB didn't show up to OTAs. Like, so what, right? OTA, yeah. But, like, when you're a wide receiver and your feet are fucked up and you're joking about it, like, haha, my feet are messed up.
Well, that's a problem.
I'm not in training camp in a new offense with a new quarterback with a new coach and a new deal that you forced your way to get. Like, you're doing too much now. Then you say I'm going to retire, which you're never going to do.
Of course not. You just got a new deal.
It's just too much. Like, you're not like, yo, you're doing too much, right?
Yeah.
So this leads me to my next thing is, this is what I wrote down. I love AB. I love everything about AB. But he's just the way he's going about the shit's all wrong.
Yeah.
I also think, like, both the feet and the helmet are ways to get out of training camp.
Yeah, I think so too.
He wants nothing to do with training camp.
Doesn't want to be there.
Period.
Nope.
So that's another story. That's another angle on it.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I'm a helmet? Nah. I don't want to wear it.
And like that's what I'm saying to your teammates, what does that look like? It's like, bro, like, yeah, like you said, you're making a joke about it and posting the pictures. It's like, dog, we're out here grinding. You know what I'm saying? We won, 6 ball games last year? Like, we're trying to turn this around. We just traded a lot for you. We just gave you a whole bunch of bread. You know what I mean? We traded away Amari Cooper. We brought you in.
And every time someone asks me a question,
it's about
you. It's about you and some bullshit about your helmet.
Or your feet.
Like, come on, dog.
Yeah.
Like, help us out here a little bit.
Yeah. But then did you hear what Gruden said today? I mean, Gruden had no choice but to be pro AB. He was like, oh, I can't wait to get him here. Oh, I got some plays I want to call for him.
Yeah.
Gruden is all epic level cornball.
Right.
Especially after watching last week. Was it on the text message or the group chat where you said Gruden and Carr's relationship?
Oh.
They don't know each other.
Listen.
I hadn't watched it I hadn't watched it when you texted that. Then I watched it the next day. I'm like, and I watched it. I go, these guys have probably had 6 one-on-one conversations. They don't know. Like, he's like, yes, sir. Like, we talk to someone like your boss. He was talking to him like his boss. Like,
go watch Hard Knocks and key in on David Carr and John Gruden's relationship.
Yeah.
First off, John Gruden doesn't like him. I can tell you that
No,
off
off
top,
top.
just by how they were interacting.
John Gruden lets you know when he likes somebody, and he
doesn't like him.
He doesn't hold back on the
He
superlatives and shit. Yeah.
He doesn't think that he could play ball.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you that
he's
now.
Not his quarterback.
David Carr is like, yeah, like kind of just like
the way they're talking. It's like you talk to your boss who you don't really like have a personal relationship with.
He doesn't seem very comfortable around dude.
Yeah, he's not comfortable.
He's not comfortable around dude.
I've never seen in like all the Hard Knocks I've watched. I've never seen a coach and a quarterback have that. Like, it wasn't like they don't like each other or anything like that. It was just awkward. Like they don't know each other. And you would think after spending a year with them, you know, the entire offseason, that they would know each other and have some familiarity. He was like, "Yo, what's up, John?" It's like he probably calls him Mr. Gruden type shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, and Gruden probably calls him Derek.
Like, go watch the new Hard Knocks is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Key in on how they interact and how they go about their business. They don't like each other. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
There's no relationship.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Back to AB though. Yeah, I mean that you're right. It's way too much, and it's over the wrong things. It's at the wrong time. Like training camp, all that shenanigans and shit should be over by the time you get to camp. So like you said, handle that shit before the season. You knew the entire summer that this was going to be the situation. File your grievances then, right?
Yeah.
We're getting ready to play. We got games happening in 23 days.
Yeah.
So they probably play in 25, 26 days.
26 days.
They got to get ready to play a game. You know what I'm saying? There's no time for this fuck around, and he's their biggest acquisition of the year, obviously. Obviously.
All day.
Another thing that I thought was funny in Hard Knocks, I think Gruden said at one point, he's like, well, we see a guy like Antonio Brown out there, top 5 talent, you got to go get him. And I'm like, you traded Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, it's that Hard Knocks was funny, man. That shit was.
But to close out this AB thing, I'm worried about the boys' like legacy.
Why?
That's what I'm worried about. Because I'm starting to think it's starting to tilt towards when his name comes up, he's like more remembered for antics than being one of the best wide receivers of all time, period.
Yeah.
That's when it starts to get a little crazy. Like T.O. is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, which is
ludicrous.
It's ludicrous.
If you watch football during the T.O. era, T.O. is one of the best receivers
right?
I've ever seen in my entire life.
But that all goes back to people just don't like him.
They don't like him.
And they associate him with being a goofball.
Yeah.
And
every time you think T.O., you think of the crunches.
Right.
And
you don't think of him
playing Super Bowl with a broken leg.
You don't think about him being one of the best wide receivers of all time.
Yeah.
Like when you hear Jerry Rice, best receiver of all time. That's the only thing you think about, right? When you hear T.O., you think of a whole bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
Celebrations, pulling out the pen, pom-poms, the popcorn. Like it's almost secondary that he was like an unreal wide receiver.
And he can't get work right now. Yeah. I mean, yeah. For sure.
Listen to these numbers from AB the last 5 years. In 2013, 110 catches, 1,500 yards, 8 touchdowns. 2014, 129 catches, 1,700 yards, 13 touchdowns. 2015, 136 catches, 1,834 yards, 10 touchdowns. 2016, 106 catches, 1,284 yards, 12 touchdowns. 2017, 101 catches, 1,533 yards, 9 touchdowns. Last year, 104 catches, 1,300 yards, 15 TDs.
I think he missed a game.
And he didn't play the last game of the season.
Yeah. And wasn't that under some bullshit too?
Yeah, he just said he wasn't coming.
Yeah, he wasn't coming.
He left the stadium and like, I'm not playing.
Yeah.
So look.
Yeah, I mean the production speaks for itself.
That's in consecutive.
It's crazy productive.
That's in consecutive years.
Yeah, he hasn't had a bad year.
He hasn't had less than 1,285 yards receiving and 8 touchdowns since and 100 catches since 2013.
Yeah, the production is there, obviously. But it's like when you're looking at football. Well, let me ask you this. In football, you're less likely to tolerate that shit than you are in basketball, right? Basketball is only 5 players that play at one time, and if you're really, really good, if you're that good of a basketball player,
if you have an Antonio Bryant talent on your basketball team that's equivalent,
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown, my fault. He can shift your whole franchise. So
yeah,
of course. It's a little different.
So I mean, it's just if you're, so you kind of just look at that whole situation, and it's like, how long are they gonna put up with it, or is it gonna get better?
No.
I don't think it gets
that.
Yeah,
That's not even a question.
It just gets worse.
It's just
and every year he gets older, right? He's at that. He's in his prime, but he's not on the beginning of his prime. He's in that bottom part of his prime, right? And Father Time is undefeated, so it's like, how long are they going to put up with it? You know. And like you said, when it's over with for him, the second he can't produce at that level,
it's a wrap.
If he's 79% of the player that he was, he's not getting work. Nobody's going to want to deal with that. The crazy thing about that is, as you read that number, I'm going in my head, like, how many targets must that be per year? It's like 170, 180 targets a year. So you got to start thinking, like, well, what the fuck were you so unhappy about in Pittsburgh? You know how many receivers? Well, we know what he was unhappy about, but it's like, you know how many receivers were killed for 180 targets a year? 12 targets a game? 4 a quarter? 3 a quarter? Whatever?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're constantly getting work. So it's kind of like, this dude, what makes him happy? When is he going to shut the fuck up?
It's one of those things. He's just going to go in that repertoire or that group of Chad Johnson. As soon as Chad Johnson, in other words, they're going to get their career is going to get cut short as soon as, like we said, as soon as it tails off. They're out. Yeah. Chad Johnson, Terrell Owens, Antonio Brown, they're all going to be the same class.
Yeah.
Like Terrell Owens and Chad Johnson could have played 2-3 more years probably.
Yeah.
They just didn't play,
I think T.O. had like 850 receiving yards his last year in the league. He was still productive. It's
just one of those things where I don't want to – it might be too late, honestly.
It might be.
But I don't want, when Antonio Brown's name come up in 10 years, to be like, that guy was a clown. And they forget in 2015 he had 136 catches for 1,800 yards and 10 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And he was doing that every other year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I worry about for AB. That's why I wanted to chill out, because there's no reason T.O. shouldn't have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, but it was purely off of people didn't rock with him. They thought he was a goof.
Yep.
Simple as that, right?
Yeah, you don't want to be labeled a team killer. Not at all.
All that. All right. Let's rotate off AB. And by the way, I feel like I'm really good at watching Hard Knocks and seeing if a team is going to be any good. They're going to be shit.
Trash.
That team's going to suck.
Trash.
They're going to be so bad. And I understand that's not going out on a limb.
Yeah.
But that team is going to be really whack.
Trash.
And you know what else I noticed? What's the GM's name? New guy, the TV guy.
Mike Mayock.
Mike Mayock.
Yeah.
Is completely in John Gruden's pocket.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole organization is.
Whole 100%.
Didn't we talk about this last year when he got the $100 million contract?
Mayock's laughing.
He's the boss.
Mayock's laughing and shit at meetings.
Yeah.
Like, aren't you supposed to be like the guy in the back, like observing?
Observing, yeah.
Not sitting down in a Raiders t-shirt laughing at John Gruden jokes. Like,
yeah. He's on his nuts.
Yeah, like.
John Gruden runs the franchise.
Stop, yeah.
When they brought him in, he said, I'm going to run the franchise. You can hire GM, team president all you want to. I just want to report straight to, hey, Mark Davis.
Yo.
Can we talk about Mark Davis?
You talking about the worst haircut of all time?
Might be the worst haircut in the history of haircuts for a guy who's a multi-billionaire.
I don't even understand it.
He's just one of the most unfortunate looking people I've ever seen in my entire life. Dude.
It is. It's facts.
When he's got the bagger.
Big bag.
Big dumb bag.
Big bag. And he's going to Vegas. He's about to be chilling crazy. New stadium.
So I don't care what y'all say about my hair. I think it's nice. I like
Straight
this.
Up. Yo, okay.
Well, hold up.
Yeah, go ahead.
So where were you going to go? Because I think if we're going to talk about reputations, I think we should transition straight into Melo real quick.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just want to, so I don't know if you saw this, but I heard this
another
on the radio
legacy
today.
thing.
Legacy thing.
A legacy
this one to me, I feel bad. I rarely say this. I've been looking at those all fucking show. Yeah. I rarely say this. I feel bad for Melo. I'm really starting to feel bad for Melo. So they said that Melo reached out to Team USA and was like, yo, I want to come out there. I'll be a mentor. I'll do whatever.
Who's running USA now?
Pop, which I think might, who knows, but Pop is, right?
Okay.
And Colangelo.
I know Colangelo is, but there's no Coach K.
How did Colangelo still get to keep that job after the whole Philly thing? I just thought about that.
What you think?
So
what you think?
So Melo reached out like, yo, I'm ready to come. Let me get down. Let me get into camp. Let me work with the young guys, like whatever, right? And Team USA told him no.
No thanks.
Melo can't even play for free, dog. And don't get me wrong. Like, when you look back at Melo's career, he has made a lot of mistakes. He said a lot of the wrong things at the wrong time. You want to talk about perception? He has never made what's perceived to be the right move. You know what I mean? Like, everybody, like LeBron had his bad move with the decision, but LeBron has made that up with 10 other great public moves, right?
Tenfold, yeah.
The thing with Melo, he just never could make the right move.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah, I was thinking about it today. Like, he, at no point did he ever make that redemption move where it's like, oh, yeah, Melo. Like, look at his career. When it's all said and done, if you just looked at his numbers, Carmelo Anthony is a fucking great player. He was a beast his entire career. But the public perception of a player has never been so bad, and I think kind of a little bit less deserved than it has been for Melo, right? Like, he's never really come out and done or said anything or exhibited behavior that, like, we talk about Antonio Brown, where in his career you'll be able to point to 10 different things that he did that you didn't like, right? But Melo, the perception out there and the way that he's moved and the way that he's gone about his business has just always seemed like the wrong move, right? Even going to New York, it's like, yo, you could have waited and signed in the summer. Instead, you went there. They traded their entire team. And then remember, Denver won like 15 straight games after that. And then you're on this shitty New York
Denver
team.
Was super solid.
Super solid. They got a whole whip.
Yeah,
and kept the guys that they already had.
Yeah.
Re-signing with the Knicks, right? When everybody knew, like, basketball-wise, it's not the right decision. Now, he made the decision that was right for him and his family. It was like $40 or $50 million. I can't knock it.
Yeah.
But again, wrong move, right? Going to Oklahoma City, they asked him about coming off the bench. He starts laughing about it, right? And then proceeds to be.
Peter said I gotta come off the bench.
Peter said I come off the bench. Yeah.
You said who, me?
Who, me? Nah.
Hey, Peter said I gotta come off the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad moves. Public life. His relationship with Lala. People love Lala. It seems like he's been a shit husband. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The whole thing has just been bad.
Yeah.
And, like, I was looking at him like, man, so I compared it. I'm like, all right, so, like, you know, you can't compare him to LeBron, right? Because LeBron is such a great basketball player and is just so leaps and bounds above everybody else. So I'm like, who do you compare Melo to as far as, like, where it went wrong? The perfect person would be, like, Dwayne Wade. Two completely different careers of guys who came in at the same exact time but chose to took a different route. And I think one of Melo's things is Melo never, like, played the game. You know, like, the game. Melo was always Melo. He had the braids for a long time. He was a little bit more affiliated, you know what I'm saying, with the street side of shit. I don't even want to say it like that because he's not even that type of dude, but I'm talking about perception, right? Whereas D-Wade, LeBron, all those dudes kind of played the game. You know what I mean? They
Until they really didn't have to.
Until they didn't have to, exactly. Yeah. But they did the dance, did the whole 9 yards, whereas Melo was always Melo, did his thing, and I think he just never got on the right side of public perception. It doesn't help they didn't win a championship either. I mean, D-Wade and LeBron got rings. But if you look at, like, the way that people talk about D-Wade, look at D-Wade when he was a younger player. It's like, oh, we love Dwayne Wade. He's so marketable. We'll put him in the commercials with Shaq. He's all over the place. Like, Dwayne Wade's ticket is set, right? Melo was always, oh, Melo's a bad boy. He's got the tat. He's got the braids. He doesn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? He looks high all the time. Like, he just had that perception, and I think he never had that moment that allowed him to shed it. And everybody just still looks at Melo like a punk. You know what I mean? And I think Melo's penalized for being like.
See, I don't know if he ever got, in my opinion, I don't think he ever got the punk when he was younger coming up with the braids. But it was all that, it really went south.
His aura.
The bench thing.
Well, the Thunder thing?
The bench thing.
Just he was getting heat in New York, though, before that.
Yeah, but like that.
Switch to power forward. Remember, Melo wouldn't play power forward.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Phil Jackson, it happened. It started in New York. It started in New York. I mean, Phil Jackson was slandering him left and right. Yeah. Every chance he could. He's not a winner.
Right, but that's still the tail end, though.
Yeah.
When Phil
George Carl wrote a book about him, slandering him. I mean, it's been like open season on Melo for years, I feel like.
Yeah.
I go as far as to call Melo embattled. Embattled. That's how we got referred to him.
That's an E60.
The embattled Carmelo Anthony. You know what I mean? Like my man's cannot catch a break, bro. Like, the shit is crazy. They talk about him like he can't find work. So, I feel like perception, man. It's all. What other reason is there not to employ Carmelo Anthony? What other reason for him, who's probably the most decorated Olympic basketball player in U.S. history, right? He's like the leading scorer. He's won a bunch of gold medals. Olympic Melo is like a thing. Can't even get an invite to camp. Can't get a roster invite. Melo would play for $800,000 right now. It's not about the bread. You know what I mean? So I feel like, it's gotten to full disrespect, and I feel like he's just never, and it's not right or wrong. You know what I mean? He just was who he was, but never gave off the warm and fuzzy persona. You know what I mean? Like, it just never. And now this is the culmination of all that.
That's what comes.
This is what comes with it.
That's what comes with it.
You don't play that game. You don't walk in that line that they want you to walk. Like, Dwayne Wade could come back and re-sign with the team right now. If Dwayne Wade said, I want to play basketball, the team would be like, fine, here you go. Yeah, absolutely. Vince Carter is 49, still getting contract.
Yeah.
Still getting the track. But remember, we talk. You know how I feel about Vince Carter. He's unredeemable to me, but he redeemed himself. My man's quit on a team in his prime, but redeemed himself, played the game, became a good teammate, found work. Melo never had, and it's dogged him, and this is where we're at. He's 34 years old. He can't find work. But it is, I feel bad for him.
This is where the pay me now, pay me later.
Yeah.
Why would Pop be on that, you think? He doesn't want him around the young guys, or he doesn't? I don't understand.
Maybe old Western Conference beefs, who knows? Or maybe it's just it's the perception.
Yo, what if he can't play? Last we saw Melo play,
he was not playing well.
He was shit.
Yeah.
When are we going to start? Does that have anything to do with this?
You sound like the Kaepernick people.
No, but
Kaepernick, but no,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, he wasn't good. But is he good enough to play somewhere?
Yeah.
To bring him into camp?
Right. Yeah, of course he's good enough to make a roster.
People are worried that you're going to bring him in there and he's going to want to be Carmelo Anthony, and I think his whole little thing that he's going on right now. I mean, that Stephen A. Smith sit down. Yeah. There are parts of that was like depressing. It's like, man, my man's just really on TV. Like,
yeah.
It's like
that was kind of the right thing.
If he was Jeremy Lin, he would have talked about how down and out he is and how he's hit rock bottom. You know what I mean?
That was the right move, though.
Yeah, no, it was. He's trying. He's trying.
What you don't think? The only thing I could keep thinking of is where are all his homies at? They can't pull no strings.
LeBron and them.
Yeah.
Them perception. Maybe they don't want. I'm telling you.
That has to be it, right?
I think
doesn't it have to be that LeBron?
He's blackballed, bro.
Doesn't it have to be that LeBron and them don't want him on the team?
Yeah, if LeBron wanted him, he could get him anytime he wants to. LeBron, are you serious? LeBron's like, hey, man, Sean Little could be a great center for us. You'll probably get a call from fucking Pelinka tomorrow. But do you know what I mean? Why isn't that more of a talking point, though? And I think that looks bad, too. Look, how about if you're how about this? You know, Melo's best friends are Chris Paul, LeBron, and all these other dudes, and they don't want you on the team. Well, Chris Paul can't get him over though. They did. They got him to Houston.
Well,
so they got him to Houston. Maybe Bron saw that, and Bron might be like, I'm good.
That makes him look even worse to other teams.
Yeah.
Like, yo, your boy LeBron don't even want you on the squad.
That's so. Like when you talk about legacy, like Antonio Brown shit is like of his own doing. With Melo, I think some of it is of his own doing. But I think you want to talk about legacy. I'm concerned that people are going to look back on Melo and not
just forget it.
And forget how at one point in time we were like, yo, is Carmelo Anthony the second best player in the NBA or third best player in the NBA?
For multiple years in a row.
For multiple years.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that he's just, again, was always made the wrong moves in the wrong situations, right? So the moves are on him, but the situations aren't necessarily always his fault. Like the Knicks thing, that Phil Jackson thing, that cost him 3 years dealing with that madness of Phil Jackson, the end of his real prime, right?
Yeah.
Which put him out of that perception. I think another thing that's killed Melo too is that there were so many other great players in the league during his time that you could write off Carmelo Anthony, right? If you didn't like him, you didn't have to like him. You had to pay attention to him. Because you can pay attention to Bron, you can pay attention to Wade, you can pay attention to KD, you can pay attention to all these great players, right? Like, you look at a guy like Iverson, who people didn't like. There wasn't that much talent in the league, so you had to watch. You had to pay attention. He was the best player in the league. You had to pay attention. Melo, there were so many other players. It was easy to just forget about Melo. I don't care how many 27-point seasons he has. So I think, you'll look back. You and I will know. The real ones will know.
Yeah.
But, hey, man.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Hey. Will they still love me? That's what Melo's wondering right now. Right? If I leave the game, will they still love me?
They still love me.
And it's looking like I don't think so, man.
That's tough.
Yeah, and his wife's getting fucked on Power and shit like every other episode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's not helping him either.
Gee, she been like the real scenes, dog.
She's been dragging him now too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, bro.
He'll never play again. I don't think.
It was bad juju.
I don't see him. Why would he ever play again?
Yeah, I can't see a team calling Melo.
Why? Yeah.
Where's the situation for him? Because, I mean, if you don't view him as, that Vince Carter type, I mean, Vince Carter's getting deals in Atlanta because he's an extension of the coaching staff, right?
Yeah.
You don't see that with Melo because, again, this is where it is his fault. He hasn't up until now, and now it seems desperate almost, right? So it's like, and that's where it's sad. It's like, yo, it's like now you're trying to show how good of a guy you are. It's like, bro, you could have, just you're right. That off the bench thing was probably where it really turned bad. That's where it
really turned.
Because, like, clearly at that point in time, he was not Melo anymore.
Because now you're not that good, but you're acting like you're old Melo.
Hey, yo, Pete.
Hey, yo, Pete. They said I got to come off the bench.
Who, me?
And he laughed. He said, who, me? Yeah. Laughed. And so they said, hey, yo, Pete. They said, I got to come off the bench.
When he said that, I was like, who you think you, yeah, bro, you haven't been that good in a couple of years.
You should probably be coming off the bench, bro.
Yeah.
Especially after this first 10 games in Oklahoma City. Like,
yeah.
Yo, get this nigga off the floor.
Do you want to play with Russ?
Yeah, like
on the floor. Go ahead and eat when Russ isn't in there.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, that legacy is a tough thing, man. Because there's dudes that honestly, their legacy is so ironclad that it's like untouchable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Peyton Manning, no matter how much he choked in the playoffs, and he choked a lot,
the people love him.
That never is spoken about. And it's never brought up. Eli Manning, his legacy is so ironclad that he's been shit for 4 seasons in a row. And it's not a question of who's going to, like, you know what I'm saying?
I think the Peyton thing is probably the strongest one of, like, playing the media, right? Yo, Peyton Manning's legacy somehow, and in the court of public opinion, he's held in higher favor somehow than Tom Brady.
And
Tom Brady is clearly... The Brady versus Manning discussion ended probably about 15 years ago.
Real shit.
Like, real talk. Tom Brady is head and shoulders, not hands down a better quarterback, but people still fucking like romanticize over Peyton Manning. They don't do that over Brady like that.
No, they don't.
If you think about like Brady, he's got like the clean like look and everything, but he's kind of an asshole.
They love Peyton
Brady doesn't
Manning,
give a fuck. Like Brady will be like, "Fuck you, I don't need to do this. Like I don't need to do your interviews."
They
like
love Peyton.
They love Peyton. Oh, who's the next GM job in the NFL? Peyton Manning. You know, like Peyton Manning is rumored for GM job. What the fuck does Peyton Manning know about being a GM? Head coach Peyton Manning. Like Peyton Manning.
That legacy's ironclad.
Ironclad, bro. Peyton Manning can't do anything wrong. Remember they even tried to bring it down a couple years ago. That story about him at Tennessee and he was doing some wild shit, like harassing the trainer or some shit.
Yeah, that shit gone. Never heard about.
Tumbleweeds. Buried that. ESPN didn't even want to run it.
It's buried.
So,
when your legacy is ironclad, like some of these dudes, you're untouchable.
They love you.
And then on the other side, some people can't get work.
Melo, yeah.
It's a really interesting conversation.
If your name is dirty out there, yeah, they're not fucking with you.
Period.
They're not fucking with you, man. That's why you gotta, when you're playing, man, you gotta play your card. I call it the Jalen Rose theory. Jalen Rose, solid player, always popular, but people loved him. Look at him now. He's making $7 million a year on ESPN. Work for life.
Well,
but there's dudes who were 20 times better than Jalen Rose that fucking broke today. Gotta play them cards right, man. Unfortunately, man. Hey, it's not fair, but you gotta play the game.
You got to.
You got to.
All right. I like that. We could come back to that legacy talk another time. That's really interesting. Let's go into Dak Prescott, and then we'll talk a little NFL. Dak Prescott wants $40 million per.
So now this is being refuted since we've sat down.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Pro Football Talk came out and said that that's not necessarily the case, but that, $30 million would be the starting point and the sides aren't close. So 40 is the number that was kind of thrown out there. But either way, he wants more than $30 million.
So he was offered 30, and the deal's not done yet, obviously. Yeah. So they're like, what does he want, 40?
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go down. I'm going to go down this list. This is the top earning quarterbacks average per year in the league. And I want you to tell me to stop when I get to a quarterback that Dak Prescott's better than. Russell Wilson, number 1 in the league, $35 million per.
Not a chance.
Ben Roethlisberger, $34 million per. Aaron Rodgers, $33.5 per. Carson Wentz, $32 million per. Matt Ryan, $30 million per. Kirk Cousins, $28 million per.
Stop.
Dak Prescott's a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins? No.
All right, whatever. It's up for the.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not. He's
we
not.
can come back.
He's
All
not.
right.
But that's just more. Kirk Cousins sucks.
Jimmy Garoppolo? We don't know. Maybe.
He can't stay on the field.
But that's 27.5. That's $27.5 million per. Matt Stafford, $27 million per. He's not better than Matt Stafford.
Not a chance.
Derek Carr, $25 million per. I'll say he's better than Derek Carr.
Derek Carr is a former Pro Bowler.
Derek Carr is shit. Last year he's shit.
Yeah.
Dak, I'll give Dak some respect and say he's better than Derek Carr. But then look, Drew Brees, $25 million per. Andrew Luck, 24.5, 24.6. No. Alex Smith, 23.5. He hopes he can play a career. He'll have a similar career.
If he could be Alex Smith like the last couple of years on the Chiefs, Alex Smith, he'd be happy with that.
Yeah,
It'd be great.
That's
Jerry
Dak
Jones would fucking do a backflip.
That's who Dak is.
Yeah.
Is
yeah.
Going looks like he's treading to be is Alex Smith.
Right.
Tom Brady, $23 million per.
Not a chance.
Okay, Joe Flacco, 22-1. He's better than Joe Flacco.
But
Joe Flacco signed that after he won a Super Bowl 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Nick Foles, $22 million per. He's not better than Nick Foles.
He's not better than Nick Foles.
Eli Manning, ironclad legacy. He makes $21 million
Eli's
per.
also won 2 Super Bowls, so that's why he's getting that cake.
Yeah. Phillip Rivers, 20.8. He can't
talk about holdout.
Yeah.
If I'm Phillip Rivers, I'm not showing up to camp at all for 20.8. How
Yes.
many quarterbacks make more money than Phillip Rivers?
How many did I just roll off?
That's criminal. 15? He must have wanted that deal.
Phillip Rivers, $83,250,000 and average of 20 per.
I'm holding out. If I'm Phillip Rivers, fuck Melvin Gordon. No, you don't get that money. That comes to me. How's Phillip Rivers only making $20 million?
Cam Newton,
hold out.
$20.7 million. He's better than Dak. That's close though. Cam's been. I hate to say that, but that's close. Cam has been. Has he not? Has he not?
He's been hurt.
Has he? Yeah, but okay, he's been hurt 3 years.
Did you just say that Cam Newton and Dak Prescott are close? Stop playing. Come on, man. Don't disrespect. What's the best wide receiver Cam Newton's had in his career?
Well, in the last 3 years?
What's the best receiver he's had in his career?
Wait, are you telling me?
What's the best receiver that he's played with?
Christian McCaffrey. Steve Smith. Shout out Steve Smith.
37-year-old Steve Smith and a running back from Stanford?
Okay, we'll come back to this.
We can come back to that, but that was disrespectful.
I didn't say he was head and shoulders above.
Yeah, it's close.
Right now, Dak Prescott's probably a better quarterback than Cam Newton. Right now in the league, in the NFL. It's just the facts. Now we're getting to where Dak probably right around falls. Andy Dalton makes $16 million per. He's better than Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
But Phillip Rivers makes 20.8. Brady, 23. Alex Smith, Andrew Luck, 25. He's about in that range. He shouldn't be asking for. If he got offered $30 million per, Matt Ryan makes $30 million per. Carson Wentz makes 32. 30 per would be the 5th highest per average quarterback in the league.
And he'll get more than that.
So what's the problem?
Yeah,
and why? Give me your thoughts on that.
Leverage.
Yeah, leverage.
That's all it is.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Get what you can get.
Get what you can get.
But
so is he worth that? Absolutely not. But you're worth what somebody's going to pay you. And to me, he has all the leverage in the world. He's the biggest commodity in sports, a quarterback. The hardest thing to find. And, he's viewed as a good starting quarterback. A good to in between good and above average starting quarterback, right? So, I mean, yeah, he's going to get that money. His deal is up. Remember Jay Cutler when his contract was up and he signed the biggest contract in NFL history? It's all about timing and leverage. Where else are they going to turn? You know what I mean? There's nowhere else for them to turn. So, yeah, sure. He'll get probably $33 million a year. He'll be the second highest paid quarterback in the NFL, is my prediction. and that'll just set the bar for the next quarterback. Who that's really going to benefit? Who the Dak Prescott contract is really going to benefit is like Jared Goff. Because Dak Prescott's going to get $34 million a year. I would say that Goff is probably the next guy to come off that rookie deal. Goff is going to walk in there and be like, I'm going to need about $44 million a year. If Dak is getting 34.
Last year.
Oh, you're trying to do this Cam Newton versus Dak thing?
I'm just going to tell you the numbers.
Cam Newton was hurt.
Yeah, he was hurt, but he's been hurt for a while. Cam Newton has had a really good season since he won the MVP. Let's just be real. And I'm a Cam fan. I'm rooting for Cam. I think Cam's a good quarterback. Right now, today, until he shows me otherwise.
So if you have 16 games, you're taking Dak over Cam?
Yeah, right now, yeah. I have to. Right now, I have to. He had more completions. They have the same percentage. He had more yards, less interceptions, and more total touchdowns. Oh, they had the same total touchdowns, 28-28.
That's including rushing and...
Yeah.
They're just not going to get... I'm sorry, man.
You know what I'm saying? But like,
I can't sign up for that.
I'm not saying it's by a wide margin,
Yeah, sure.
but right now, it's what it is, bro.
For sure.
It's what it is.
Can't co-sign. But either way, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is he should fall somewhere right in that middle range.
Right.
But based on the leverage that he has, which is a ton, which is pretty much the same when any quarterback's up for a contract, they just have a shit ton of leverage, he's going to get paid.
Did anybody jump out at you on that list that was making too much money?
Too much? Run me back through, just real quick, like top 10. Wilson, 34.
Wilson, 35. Roethlisberger, 34. 33.5. Aaron Rodgers. Carson Wentz is 32. Matt Ryan's at 30. There's a few people like Matt Ryan's at 150 mil total deal.
Yeah, but he won the MVP 3 years ago and they were in the Super Bowl, and he's kind of
maybe Garoppolo
probably, but that was leverage.
And he looked like he's gonna be really good. So
yeah, Ben Roethlisberger for $33 million is fucking absurd.
He just signed that 2-year deal.
Yeah, it's
2 year 68, all guaranteed.
Talk about a guy who doesn't want to go to training camp.
Yo,
Ben Roethlisberger literally every year is terrible. For the first 4 games of the year because he plays himself into NFL shape. I've never seen anything like it, and gets away with it. He's been doing this for like 3 or 4 years. Look at his first 4 games. He'll throw like 2 touchdowns and like 8 picks, and then by about week 5, week 6, he hits stride. It's incredible.
Roethlisberger threw for 5,100 yards last year.
Did he? Yeah, because they chucked the ball.
5,100 though.
Yeah,
I think he had like 600 attempts or something crazy.
Dude, didn't he have a 500 yard, 2 back-to-back 500 yard games last year or something?
I mean, if you threw for 5,100 yards, that's definitely in the realm.
Yeah, that's true. Man.
Yeah, I mean,
just don't find yourself in the bathroom with that man.
Yeah, dude, I don't like dude.
I don't like that dude at all. He's sleazy, bro.
I'm not. Yeah.
Again, perception. He got away with that scot-free.
Yeah.
It was two different incidents.
2 different
bathroom
incidents.
Ben.
No, he got suspended.
Yeah, it was all good, dude. But it's been water under the bridge.
Yeah, it's kind of gone.
Water under the bridge.
I feel like we're the only people that call him that.
Bathroom Ben?
Yeah.
I'll always call him Bathroom Ben.
Yeah, it definitely... and
it was like in the middle of nowhere in like Montana or some shit,
Yeah,
too.
it was some reckless shit, for sure.
It was fucking... I don't know. I mean, the biggest thing that dumped out at me is like, we were joking before. If I'm fucking Phillip Rivers, I'm holding out at $20 million? That's criminal. Phillip Rivers was a top 5 quarterback last year.
Yeah.
He's if you take Phillip Rivers off the Chargers, they might not win a ball game. I like Phillip Rivers.
I do like Phillip Rivers, too.
I like Phillip Rivers, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Chargers are a sleeper Super Bowl pick this year, too.
Yeah, 15-1. I told you.
That was solid money right there. They were good last year. They won like 11 or 12 games.
They were really good.
Yeah.
And they never won at home. They won. They won all their games on the road. They were sick.
No one cares about the. I still don't understand why they left. I mean, I know why they left San Diego at the bag.
They got smoked out so crazy in New England though in the playoffs.
Yeah,
but
that's what happens. They don't want to go up to Foxborough.
Yeah, I guess that's
true.
Man,
same thing I've been telling you all year.
See, Kyler Murray making almost $9 million.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
How you feel about Kyler Murray?
Well, stay tuned, bro.
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury.
Stay tuned, bro.
I know we talked about it before, but
is Mariota still on his rookie deal?
Who?
Marcus Mariota?
Yeah, he's trash.
How many years is left on his deal, though?
He came out the same year as Jameis, and Jameis is in the last year of his deal.
Jameis got a new deal, though, didn't he?
No, he didn't. Hell no.
No,
Jameis did not get a new deal. They're not going to they don't want to re-sign Jameis.
No, yeah, I guess you're right.
They're playing Jameis on the 5th-year option. They picked up his 5th-year option. And I think Mariota's on the 5th-year option too. But they also brought in Ryan Tannehill out there in Tennessee too, right?
Yeah, for a year.
Marcus Mariota is trash.
Yeah, that's one of those borderline dudes. But he's also one of those dudes from he has the same front office that drafted him. They're not giving up on Cuz.
Yeah.
As soon as a fresh front office goes into Tennessee, he's
time to go.
He's out of there for sure. All right, let's switch over to these Bulls. The Bears, and then we'll close on the NBA schedule and all that stuff. Bears' first preseason game. First thoughts were Montgomery's the real deal.
Yeah, he's nice.
He looked shifty and looked like he had some power. And, of course, the big thing was the kicking battle.
So sick of talking about this.
Yeah, I know, me too.
Or hearing about it.
I tweeted out, did you watch the first game?
Yeah, I watched fragments of it.
I didn't.
Yeah, I told myself I was gonna watch it, and you know what it was, man. Like even I texted, it's like, oh, it's the first night of the game. Like, who gives a fuck about that shit? I'm like, what's he talking about?
Yeah.
And then I started watching it, and it reminded me why like preseason football sucks.
It sucks
because you see all your favorite players just on the sidelines, and it's just like this is just terrible.
Yo, it's packed.
Yeah, of course.
It's packed.
Yeah, you pay full price for them joints too.
And that's why the whole thing with you guys want to cut preseason games.
No.
McCaskey's like, what?
Teams like the Bears are like, no, that's
why would
a
I
full
cut preseason games.
We still sell beer and hot dogs over there. Yeah,
$10 million.
Yeah,
no, thanks.
No, thank you.
No. Yep. and I can throw people on the field that can get hurt, and we don't have to worry about. They're not even going to be on the team anyway.
Oh, and we got to force season ticket holders to buy 2 of these games, so that's guaranteed sales.
Man,
it's like, oh, you want season tickets? Yeah, we got 2 preseason games.
Can we get another preseason game?
Yeah, 6. I need to evaluate further.
Can we get another preseason game? What are you talking about?
Sign us up. You know that. Wait, so the Bears lose the home game for that London game?
Let's check real quick. We're playing the Raiders.
Oh yeah, somebody lost the home game. Somebody's not happy.
I hope it's not. I feel like the first place team shouldn't lose a home game. Let me check.
I feel like going out to London for an NFL game every year has run its course, and it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I don't think they care.
Could be. All right, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, we got all 8.
So Oakland lost one?
Yeah.
Plus, I feel like good teams, I feel like the Bears shouldn't have to go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You know what 7, I mean?
8. Well, they scheduled us when we were garbage.
There's a reason, but there's
a
reason.
Got good though.
But here's the thing. Big market teams that sell out shouldn't have to go. There's a reason that Jacksonville win every year.
They sent Brady and them out there too. Now Brady went out there.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I get what you're saying though.
I feel like teams that sell out shouldn't have to go. But Jacksonville should have to go. You know what I mean?
Well, they didn't hit us for a home game.
Y'all don't sell home games, so y'all need to go out to London.
They didn't hit us for a home game.
That's fine. I still think it's stupid. I hate that fucking thing. Game starts 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
That's going to be rough.
Yeah, it is whack.
It's going to be a long-ass day, too.
Yeah, it is whack.
Because that means we'll start watching football that day at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we'll be done watching football at 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
It's going to be an epic day.
Okay,
but the kicker. What were we talking about?
The kicker situation. Elliott Fry.
At this point, just
and
whatever
Eddie
happens.
Pinheiro. Elliott Fry hit from 43. 43 is the same mark that Parkey missed.
Yeah.
So people loved that. And Pinheiro missed from 48. I don't even care, man.
Who cares? It's
just give me a guy that can hit him.
Yeah.
I don't care who he is, where he's from.
At this point, it's either going to happen.
Go find a guy that makes him, bro.
Yeah.
That's
I don't want to talk about this.
That's it.
I don't want to talk about this.
And I'm gonna tell you this.
Over it.
I'm gonna tell you this. If whatever guy you pick, week 2 he's missing, get him out.
Get him out.
Week 3, give me somebody else.
Yep.
That's it. We are
Mr. Keep him along for the ride.
Well, we had to because of the bread.
Try to tell you.
And I was just telling you that we weren't going to get rid of him because of the bread.
I was telling you.
You know what I'm saying? We had no choice.
It's gonna come back and bite you.
The offense struggling. We were talking about this.
Yeah.
And so word on the street, or it's been publicly talked about, that the offense hasn't been doing all that hot against the D in training camp. I read this article on The Athletic today about Nagy's perception of the offense and how they're trying to get Trubisky to improve. And the core of the talk in the article was try to make these. It was the old adage of make the mistakes in practice instead of the game. But the way they broke it down was Nagy tries to push quarterbacks to see windows and try to make throws into windows during certain offensive sets or schemes to see if they can make that. And like, I see this, let me see if I can make that throw. If it gets picked off, then they know, hey, I don't know if I can make that throw in that window at that time.
So he purposely sets them up?
Not purposely, but he wants them to, he's pushing them to push the envelope.
Test their limitations and see what they can and cannot do.
Test all the limitations, push the limits of the offensive set, the play, the scheme in practice. For when the game comes out, you don't make those mistakes because you know you can't do it. They said they did the same thing with Alex Smith when he was in Kansas City under Nagy, and it worked really well. And they did it with Mahomes, Andy Reid, and he came out and won the MVP. Right?
They did it with Mahomes, and they realized, oh wait, there's nothing I can't do.
Right. Yeah, right. So that was an interesting point and an interesting article. I mean, I think it was kind of twisted up to like, yeah, make your mistakes in practice and not in the game. That's essentially what he was saying. But I guess he's really on them like, don't be out in practice checking down.
Right. Practice is your time.
You know what I mean? Like, don't come out here and practice.
If you can or cannot.
Go for the gusto out here in practice.
Right.
Don't
like we know you can check down.
Yeah, we know you can check down.
Yeah.
Go push the limits on this play. See what we can do.
I like it.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
I do like it. I mean, I think that's kind of, what it's for. How else are you going to know what he's made of? You don't want him testing those throws in real games if he can't make them. And, at the same time, if he already knows that he can, then he has that confidence. I think the confidence is probably the biggest thing you're building with that. Because that makes sense now when you mention that, because when you look at some of those throws that Mahomes made, it's like, man, is he just out there confident in the ability to make cross-body jump passes and shit? Like,
he must have made this throw before.
He must have made this throw before, and he's done it before. So I kind of like that. Obviously, it's worked. I just want to see it happen on Sunday, man. I mean, I think at this point it's pretty clear what the Bears' offense has to do. We know the defense is going to be good. The offense needs to be better than last year. It needs to be more consistent than last year, more explosive. And Trubisky's got to, make those big plays. I mean, the formula's right there, right? Like, you look at this Bears team, you know exactly what we got to do. Like, fuck talking about the kicker. Let's talk about the offense. Because if the offense is putting up the points on the board, we wouldn't have been in that situation last year. Yeah. In that game against Philly, right? Yeah. It wouldn't have came down to a kicker. That was all of our worst nightmares. So I want to see this offense post the points on the board. If the offense takes a step back this year or doesn't improve, that's when you almost got to look at Nagy, because it's like, dog, we know you're not the reason our team is good if it's all defense, right? So it's like, hey, we got to start making it happen. I'm not calling for Matt Nagy or nothing like that. Right. I'm just saying that, that's when you might have to look at it and say, okay, well, what's the problem here? Because now you've had 2 seasons to install your system. You've had the defense that's going to spot you.
He said Trubisky on offense, he's on 2.2.
Yeah.
Or 202, Nagy 202 or something like that.
Exactly. Nagy 202.
Yeah,
exactly.
Nagy 202,
yeah. So, at this point, we got to see that improvement. I'm excited. I can't wait for the game. I can't wait for the games to start. I can't wait to watch the Bears. I want to see what we're going to be able to do. I told you a couple weeks ago I was, not sipping the Kool-Aid. I'm still not, but I'm more excited every day as it gets closer. But I'm just done talking, man. I hate the lead up to football.
Yeah, me too.
The lead up to football is just so much
It's a lot of smoke. It's a lot of people talking bullshit.
Yeah. It's a lot of optimism and all that, but nothing really matters till Sunday. So I want to see what's going to happen, but it does concern me, some of the reports that come out about the offense.
Yeah.
Because all you hear is that the defense is spectacular. Like, the defense is doing great. Defensively, they were giving them nothing but problems. And it's like, oh, great, they were giving them problems, but the people you were giving problems to is your offense. So it's like, oh, man.
Right.
Yeah. So eventually I put some points on the board, but I did like
David
Montgomery,
but I also think
player.
On that same token, our offense is seeing, bar none, one of the best defenses in the league every day. So when we go out and see someone that's not of our caliber, it's going to be like, man, this is a little easier out here to be running this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's always good. I think.
Well, wouldn't you be more optimistic if it was like, hey, man, the offense is out there
killing our defense? Yeah, of course.
There's a lot of plays the offense is out there getting. It's like, oh, then we know we see another defense. Right. Talking about knowing some shit. Oh, we know we can fuck up our defense. We know we can fuck up theirs.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
But we know Bojack ain't gonna be back there on Sunday against us. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Right. Yeah, it goes both ways.
Goes both ways.
Goes both ways, no doubt.
Yep.
I think a thing that's not being underplayed, and it's going to be one of those things, we'll see if it comes up when the games start, is Adrian Amos not being around anymore.
Yeah.
I think people don't realize how much of a monster he actually was, especially coming down in the box and just – he was there to hit people.
When you have two safeties that play off each other like that.
Eddie Jackson was there for the glitz and the glamour.
Yeah.
And Amos was there, or Amos. I always pronounce this shit wrong. Amos.
Deion Bush looked good in the preseason game.
It's Amos. But, yeah, he was like your grinder safety.
Yeah, which I don't think HaHa Clinton Dix is at all.
He's more of a
rangy,
Eddie Jackson.
Yeah.
They're kind of back there like two free safeties.
Yeah.
Do we have the defensive line and linebackers that can mask that a little bit? Yeah.
Absolutely.
But Amos really came up, and I don't know how many tackles Amos had, but off the top, it's in the 90s, I would think.
You know what, though, man? In football, you obviously, you learn to kind of not miss the individual player as much as you would in another sport. So I think that if those other guys elevate a little bit and start to cover it up.
Until HaHa Clinton Dix gets run over.
Yeah. Hey.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but.
Amos didn't help us in that game against Miami.
That's true.
So, maybe having a more rangy safety out there won't let that type
the Giants
of situation.
Game too?
Yeah, the Giants, oh, my God.
Daniel Jones. That cost us, bro.
Yeah, hell yeah, it did. It cost us the fucking bye.
Cost us big time.
Yeah, big time. We didn't – dude, if you would have asked me, like, who do you really not want to play in the playoffs, I would have said Philly.
Yeah.
I just don't want to play him. I don't want to play Nick Foles in the playoffs. I will pass. You can take me straight to Jared Goff.
Not, huh?
Take me straight to Jared Goff because I told you what I felt about Goff in the second half of the year, the entire year, and it was true. But I did not want to see Foles in Philly. They're coming off a Super Bowl win, a little bit down year after that, but they got confidence. They finished off the second half of the year strong. You don't want to play them boys. Yeah. You don't want to play a coach that doesn't give a fuck, and Doug Peterson. He doesn't give a fuck. What are playing with house money?
Has a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
He really doesn't care.
Backup quarterback, he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. I rock with Peterson too. He
literally doesn't give a fuck.
He really doesn't care. He's going with his gut.
Yeah, he's going to go with his gut. Like, you don't want to – and Foles, like he's talking about, Foles is ridiculously accurate, gets the ball out quick. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, and that's who I did not want to see Philly. And, like, yeah, you knew you weren't going to go out and blow them out. You could have fucked the Rams up.
Game is coming soon, man. Green Bay. That's going to be a spectacle.
Yeah, it is. What are they talking about? $1,000 for standing room?
At least $600 to get in the building.
Yeah,
just to get in.
My dad was like, "Oh, we should go like tailgate for a Bears game." I'm like, you got to pay like $150 to fucking tailgate. You have to buy a pass to fucking. It's like $120, $130.
And even for the good lots,
yeah,
you can't even buy them. They're like decals for season
tickets.
Yeah,
bro.
Like all types.
I'm
of
like,
crazy.
I'm not paying $200 to park.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I was like, we can go to.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah,
how on a weekly basis, how big of a stadium do you think that we could fill if we had one? Like, we got one of the smallest stadiums in the league.
We have the smallest. We have the smallest stadium in the NFL.
Could we fill like 90K?
Like Jerry World?
Yeah.
Not in the winter.
Not in the winter is right.
Not in the winter.
Maybe though. Those dudes are, man.
Some people, people will go.
If we're good,
I have turned down Bears winter tickets before.
If we're good, they're there, bro.
Cold
or not.
I went to one game one year that was in fucking, November-ish, December-ish.
Yeah.
It was with Will, and I've never experienced anything like that before.
Yeah, it's rough.
The beer froze in the hand, like type shit. Like, so I mean, you got to be a real grinder to be. I salute you if you're going to Soldier Field in November, December. Because
how many seats do you think we could fill?
Extra good. I'd probably say, yeah, we can fill 85,000 easy.
Week in, week out.
Yeah, absolutely.
When's the last time we didn't sell out a Bears game?
I mean, it's the Chicago Bears.
What?
All of our teams sell out except the White Sox.
Yeah. And we have two teams.
Yeah, we have two baseball teams. So it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's not like the White Sox, they don't, it's not like, it's Chicago. It's a huge market.
Yeah.
You can sell tickets. There's enough people to sell tickets too. Absolutely. I just worry the winter is when it'd be rough. Because like you catch like a winter like last winter, like when it was fucking stupid cold, like people might be like, yeah, fuck it.
I love the Bears.
I don't know if it was last year or the year before. I straight up was someone offered me Bears tickets in the winter. I was like, yeah, no, I'm good.
And the reason they were offering to you
because they didn't want to go.
They didn't want to go.
And it was like that -15. I looked at the forecast. I was like,
nah,
yeah,
I'll pass on this. Thanks though.
Yeah, I'm good.
Appreciate
so
you.
Thinking about the drive back.
Yeah,
nah.
Traffic.
Nah.
Yeah, nah, I'm good.
I did that Lambeau game where it was like a -15. But that was Lambeau. Like I'd go to that because that was a playoff game in Lambeau.
That was
you know, that's for the experience. But I'm good, bro.
Let's close it out on this NBA. I can't believe the schedule's out already.
Yeah, they put out this. I didn't know the NBA schedule was an event.
That shit,
like the NFL schedule is usually an event, but yeah. All right, so I'm gonna ask you a question though. What they did is I have a chart.
Yeah.
And they listed all the teams and all their primetime games by network. So ABC, ESPN, TNT, and NBA TV.
Yes, sir.
So national games. So first question I want to ask you: how many national games?
Yeah.
This includes NBA TV. Do you think the Bulls have this year?
It excludes NBA TV?
Includes NBA TV.
Includes?
How many do they have without NBA TV? That's a good question.
How many without NBA TV?
Yeah, because I don't even consider the NBA TV a national game. But yeah, how many without NBA TV?
3.
Nope.
More than that? Other than
the Bulls have 1 ESPN game. And
no
3
TNT? No
and
TNT?
No TNT, no ABC, obviously.
Yeah.
And 3 NBA TV games. So the Bulls rank 26 in the NBA in primetime games.
1 ESPN game?
1 ESPN game.
When is it?
It has
Who
to be
is it
Christmas
against?
or something.
Is it the Lakers?
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, right? All right.
It has to be, right? Oh, they don't show you.
No, they're not showing what the game is.
Yeah, it must be against the Clippers or something.
So 2 teams are tied for the fewest. What do you think they are? These 2 teams. So these 2 teams have
Memphis.
That is one of them.
No,
it's not Memphis.
No?
Nope. Memphis is the 4th fewest.
So there's 2 teams
tied for the fewest.
And it's not Memphis.
Not Memphis.
Wow. Orlando?
No, they made the playoffs last year.
But that don't mean shit.
Orlando
watching them.
Orlando has 6.
What? Including NBA TV?
Yep.
Damn, man. I feel like Atlanta is not on there because they're at least a little fun to watch.
Yeah, Atlanta. Yep. No, Atlanta's got 9.
Yeah, right. So they're not.
Atlanta's an NBA TV
Okay,
team.
Charlotte.
That's 1.
Yeah, Charlotte.
Charlotte has 3 primetime games. They got a TNT joint.
They got 1, so they have 1.
Yeah, 1. This other team has 1 too.
Charlotte and who is it, bro? Give it to me. Cleveland. Fuck. I should have got that. Yeah.
Right.
Cleveland should have 0.
Yeah, they got a couple.
Blackout.
I don't know how Cleveland has an ESPN game. Must be Christmas.
It must be against the Lakers. Like it has to be against LeBron going to Cleveland. Or
easy
something.
question: who has the most?
The Lakers.
How many do you think they got?
Well, that's a good question.
Let me ask you this: if you had to put your over under 41 half of their games are on primetime or no? You
yes.
say more than half on primetime?
Well, including NBA TV, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
43.
Yeah, 43. Okay.
Who's the second highest? Easy.
The Clippers.
Nope.
No.
The Clippers are actually
Golden State.
Golden State's got 42. Clips got 38. See if there's any surprise. Utah's got 25.
Dude, people are talking Utah's going to win like 65 games.
Portland's got 31.
Utah's over-under's like 56.
Dallas has 20.
Wow, Luka.
Dallas has 20.
Kristaps.
The defending champs only have 19.
Yeah. And the funny part is that won't even get a lot of pub.
What? That they only have 19?
No, like they won't even like. I'm not clamoring to go watch.
No,
Raptors.
not that team. No. Somehow the Pelicans. Oh, how many do you think the Pelicans
somehow.
got? I was
Somehow.
and then I thought about it real quick. How many do you think the Pelicans got?
16.
30.
Wow, really?
Listen, bro, the Pelicans have 2 ABC games, which are Sunday games.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. 11 ESPN games, 7 TNT games, and 10 NBA TV games. They got 2 Sunday Primo games.
Wow. They're going to be kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, that's all Zion.
Maybe the Grizzlies got a few primetime games because of Morant, I guess.
I think you have to give them the NBA TV games. Those are important to the league, or to the,
43 games on national TV for the Lakers. The funny part is it's going to feel like more than that. It's going to feel like they're on every night.
Yeah, 43, you're going to see pretty much all there's no. Yeah, if you want to get league pass just to watch the Lakers, you don't need to. 39 games off market,
Yeah, straight up.
Yep. Crazy.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Go cop. I got new hats coming in. You see the hat. Big Nick the Quick's got the shirt on. You see the shirt. Chicago Breeds Legends. No Ketchup NK logo snapback. Super comfy. Restock. You see it right there. Coming this week.
Sir.
Holla at it. NoKetchupChicago.com. Go check it out. Go subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. Tell your homies. You already know what time it is. For Big Nick the Quick, Nick Harvey, I'm your host, Sean Little. No Ketchup Chicago. Sports Talk via Chicago. Let's get it.
Let's get it.